You know, they say don't let the forest in, but they never say don't let the Gavin in. Don't let the Gavin in. Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. I literally just had to put a shirt on because I am roasting hot and I wasn't going to do this shirtless. No, sorry. So I had to put a shirt on. I am just freaking hot. How is everyone doing? Hopefully you all had a fantastic day yesterday. Hello, Rebecca. And again, I know I sent you a message, but thank you again for the recommendation of the Moss shop, which honestly, perfect after talking about the forest in. Moss, forest, you know? And the fact that my wedding, not my wedding, but my friend's wedding is garden themed, you know, like Dawn at the Forest and garden themed, I feel like that's just perfect. And I managed to get something. I've got it packed away though, so I wouldn't be able to show you, but I will obviously take pictures and stuff when I do put it on. But the person who I saw was called Martin, which is the exact same name as my brother, and it's the exact same spelling as well. And Martin was absolutely lovely. He's celebrating his 50th next week, which is so nice. But he took one look at me and he just kind of knew every size that I needed. And then I tried them on and they were a perfect fit. Just like, but the time is finally here. I'm pretty sure we mentioned that this would be a book club pick for months. 4 months, and the day has finally come. Hello, Kat. Welcome in. Hi, Kim. Hello. So this is a book club pick. I need to know what other people thought. This is one of those books where I feel like I'm glad I read it twice at this point, because I think there were some things that I might have missed the first time around that helps with the later part of this book, which I'll not spoil or say anything just yet. I will wait until we get a little bit further in. But I do think reading it with a pair of eyes that have already read it before did help with a second read as well. Hello, Kat, as well. Welcome in. Excited to discuss with everyone. Hopefully your memory is still pretty good. So if there's anything that you ended up loving or hating, you might remember. Hello, welcome in. Whoop, whoop. Oh, 45 minutes left in the book, so I won't be able to stay long. No worries, you are so close to finishing as well, Caitlin. So close. Hey, hello, my love. Currently cooking, so I'll be watching, but may not be able to join it. No worries, honestly, no worries. How have you been anyway? It's been so long since we last saw each other, but I hope you're doing well. And yeah, enjoy cooking. Let me know if you need any help. Willing to help, absolutely. You know I'm a great cook. Hello, finished the audiobook this morning right before work. Perfect timing. And didn't you find it to be such a fast read? One of the things I do love about this book is that it's a fast read. Also, I love that I timed this live show for after G premiered her Magical Readathon announcement. Like, I totally did that by accident, but I'm glad I did, because I would not have wanted to go live as G was, premiering the video. I probably would have pushed this back. So excited. Oh, damn, I'm almost finished my water. That's okay. I haven't got to start this until I had time to finish it. That was half an hour ago. Oh, no. Well, the good thing is you can pause it before we talk about the spoilers and stuff, and then you can come back to this and pretend that I'm live. Oh, it is so hot today. What's the temp over here? The temperature is, well, it says it's 23 degrees Celsius right now, but like, it's just so stuffy. It is so stuffy right now. There's no air. It's just hot. Like, there's no breeze, no air. And you know what it is in Mallorca, where I'm going? Well, right now it's 29 degrees. Right now it's 9 p.m. as well, so they're an hour ahead. But, oh my God, on tomorrow it's going to be 34 degrees Celsius. And then it's going to be 35 degrees Celsius on Saturday, which is where I'm going to be like the whole day. 34 degrees for the wedding on Friday. Well, I'm going to die. I am going to die. Feels like I'm in an oven as well. It'll be over soon, Kim. We'll be back to sweater weather soon. Hello, welcome in. Got a new fan. It's the best thing I've ever bought. Jodie, I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for you. Always a good purchase. Always a good purchase for a fan. Oh, made it on this rainy day here. Christina, I'm so jealous. You always seem to have the best luck. You always do. You always seem to be eating the best food, having the best weather. You are God's favourite. I hope you know this. Scotland is so warm, so not used to it. Oh, bless you. Lucy, it'll be warm for a day, and then it'll go back to being rainy and cold. It's supposed to be hotter tomorrow. Yay! Yeah, all sorted. And I have pre-booked my taxi as well, which I only did just before. So I have my taxi at 4:15 a.m. 4:15 a.m. And also, I slept through my alarms this morning. So I had training at 9. My alarm was 7, 7:10, 7:20, and 7:30. Slept through all 4 of them. And I woke up at 8, I think it was 8:27 a.m. I woke up at 8:27 a.m., slept through 4 alarms, woke up at 8:27 a.m. I got changed and ready and out the door in 8 minutes. And I managed to speed walk all the way to training and make it on time. So now I'm absolutely terrified that I'm going to sleep through my alarms tonight, aka in the morning, and miss the taxi and miss my flight. So there is that. I'm a little bit worried about that, but I'm packed. I've packed my suitcase. Just need to pack my carry-on bag, but I can still do that a little bit later. Wales is due another storm, and I'm so ready. Oh, well, you stay safe though. You stay safe. Mentioned that about knowing your size today when he said they did the same to him in the other shop. They must have some special training, like some really special training, to be able to just take one look at you and know. Like, he even took a look at my feet, and he said, "Oh, are you 8 or 9?" And I said, "Oh my God, I'm a 9." Like, the fact that I could just look at my feet and know the size, stunned. I've been waiting to discuss this. I do apologize for making you wait so long. I do. Yeah, no worries. You should be able to rewatch this anytime you want. Jeremy, excited to reread this already. This book has put me right on my slump. 10 stars. Loved it. Yay. Okay, I'm glad about that. Ready to reread before I finish the last 2 chapters. Nice. Oh, just check my notes. I may have an unpopular opinion. No, I love that. I love that. We need some different opinions here in the chat. I might as well do while I catch up on comments, I'll do a poll now. I'll find out, what did you rate this book? So I'll do it in stars. So we'll do 2 to 3.5 stars, 1 to 1.5 stars. Or should I do 2? 1 to 2 stars, 2.5 to 3.5 stars, 4 to 5. And then I'll do DNF or didn't read. Star poll. There we go. I feel like that's good options. Good options. Hey, now go get some water, I guess. It's okay. I literally just like drank like this much in the last like 15 minutes. That should carry me through the entire live show. Arthur Romano said 29 degrees Celsius earlier, which is criminal. I agree. That is criminal. And I can imagine it was about that, because as I went to the Metro Center to go to that store, the sweat was unbearable. 95 Fahrenheit. Say it's actually pretty hot, yeah. Pretty hot. Tropical 34 degrees Celsius temperatures in the States too. Can I just stay home over the next few days? I know I just paid for my like wedding outfits. And what's great about the wedding outfit as well is that I have a couple of variations, so I can also reuse it for Jade's wedding as well. So I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone with that one. But 20 all night, gonna melt away. You try and get that fan on you. Keep cool. 40 plus. Oh my God. Doesn't sound hot by American standards, but you know there's AC everywhere. True. Never the same. I agree. I do agree with that. I was going over because it's meant to be super hot, so she can walk my pup for me. If it gets too hot for him to go outside. Oh, you have the best mum. Oh, thank you. Honestly, I was debating, like, should I just message him and say that I slept in and I can't make it? But then I was like, it's the only time I can go this week. I cancelled on Monday, and today was the only time I could go this week since coming back from Norway. And then I'm going to be off again until I come back from Mallorca. So I was like, I need to do it. I need to do it. See, the thing is, though, would I want to get someone to call me and wake up at 3 a.m.? Would I really make someone do that at 3 a.m.? I wouldn't want to get my mum to do that. So I'm just like, I'm just going to put my phone on the other side of the room and hope for the best. I would have just given up. Honestly, I was so close. So close. Not for the week, I agree. And my gym doesn't have AC because it's an independent gym. They do have fans all over the place, so it was cool. But yeah, they don't have AC, so even more reason to have cancelled. Could go to the gym because it's the only place nearby that has AC. Say yours has AC, mine doesn't. Yeah, literally, it gets hotter and hotter every year. I can only imagine how unbearable it's going to be in 10 years' time. I mean, fortunately, I did pee just before the live show. But yeah, give me 10 more minutes. I probably will need to pee again. 4 stars, baby. Love the atmosphere with the plants coming out of the walls. So many great visuals. So I just wish that this was more illustrated. Love the fact that it had some illustrations, but I would have loved a little bit more. Like, look at that. Like, I love how like gothic and weird and wonderful it looks. Could you imagine being able to see more illustrations of like the actual school, the actual forest, seeing all of this? Oh, yeah, I'm gonna have to wake up at 3 a.m. Honestly, F my life. F my freaking life. I am feeling better. Yes, thank you so much. I could definitely be better, as in like I'm not 100%, but I'm definitely better than I was the past few days. 100%. Convinced that if these movies don't exist, someone would have tried this already. Just saw the third film. Literally, yeah. If we hadn't had the films to show us why you shouldn't try and bring the dinosaurs back to life, there would be a billionaire somewhere trying to do it. In fact, there might actually be a billionaire somewhere trying to do that now. You just never know. You just never know. Would still visit a park like that? I mean, same. I think I would too. It would be dangerous AF, as you saw by the track record, but very dangerous. Right, shall we get into discussing Don't Let the Forest In? Oh, quite a bit of fan art out there. I will absolutely need to see all of the fan art. I would love to see fan art of Thomas and Andrew so badly. Enjoy the illustrations. They are so nice, but just too few and far between, you know? Like, it would be so nice to get a little bit more. I understand that sometimes less is more, but let's see if I can find another one for you. Just so the people who maybe just listen to the audiobook can still find it like this as well. Like, it looks like something you would find in like the Book of Shadows and Charmed. You know what I mean? Something like that. You would find it in some kind of witchy book of demons and folk tales and all that. Just would have been so nice to get more. 5 stars for the writing and vibes, but at the end, I like my stories to not leave so many loose ends, so 3.5. No, the author did it on purpose, but not what I enjoy. No, honestly, I do agree with you a lot on that. It's one of the reasons why I prevented it from giving it a 5-star myself. I gave it 4-star on the first time I read it, but I bumped it up to 4.5 this time. But it's still just not a 5-star, for like the reasons you've mentioned as well. I feel like it is a little bit too loose-ended, and it would be nice to have a little bit more of a wrapping up of it, because I felt like we did get some of the like the big twists and the big moments towards the end, and we didn't really get to sit on that for a long enough time for it to really sink in. So I think having a little bit more time at the end, maybe it could have benefited from being like 50 pages longer, potentially. But yeah, if the author didn't want to wrap it up, that's absolutely fine. But I just think there's some things to do with like maybe the twist or like just the direction of the story that could have definitely helped with selling the story at the end. So 4.5 for me, not a 5, because I would need it to be perfect, and I don't think it's perfect. But for the reasons you mentioned, because I do agree. Oh, yours didn't have any illustrations? Oh, that's shit. It absolutely should have. What about your, like, the folktale pages? Are your folktale pages like that? Or are your folktale pages different? But yeah, Oz has illustration. Well, only every now and then. I think there's only like maybe 5 illustrations or like 6 illustrations or something. There's actually not that many. Listen to the audiobook and unaware of illustrations. Give it 4, but honestly, probably close to 3.5 rounded up. I don't know. You know what? That's absolutely fair as well. It seems like you've given it the exact same rating as Christina-ish. I totally get it. Would not with the Raptor. Same. But absolutely let Chris Pratt play with them. If he gets eaten, he gets eaten. 5 stars all the way through. So much love for this book. Illustration and ace rep in this book. Oh, honestly, the ace rep was fantastic. Like, I love the fact that it was emphasized that Andrew didn't have like sexual feelings, which obviously is like what asexuality is and stuff. But I mean, there's like more facets to it than that. But like as a young adult book, I am kind of sick of reading ones that are like a little bit too overtly sexual, a little bit too like focused on like sex as part of sexuality. But I love the idea of exploring sexuality that isn't obsessed with sex, or you know what I mean? Like, for example, I recently read that Out of the Blue book, which I ended up DNFing because I found it a little bit too sexualized for a young adult book, and it was making me feel uncomfortable. But I loved the fact that this one did mention about like Andrew and what Andrew kind of wanted in what he didn't want as well. And it didn't make it like, for me as an adult reading a young adult book, it didn't make me feel weird. It made me feel like, yeah, that sounds like such a natural and beautiful thing to describe, you know what I mean? And so I really did love I did also love the ace rep as well. Still didn't know what was real and what wasn't in this book. Watched Katie Cousins vlog earlier and I was screaming. She had all the same thoughts as me. I love that you watched Katie's video as well. Amazing. And I still stand by this, but I think the thumbnail for that video is still one of the best. But yeah, like I got to a point again where I was reading this and I was like, I've read this before. But even now, by like the 3/4 mark, I was also questioning myself again because I was like, okay, I kind of still don't know like which version of this is real or not, and like exactly how, like, is it all very metaphorical? Are these people actually like dying through the the monsters coming into the school? Because I felt like we would get like the monsters coming into the school, for instance, kill that really. Oh, I guess spoilers, I guess. We're going to go into spoilers now. So if anyone hasn't read it, please do come back when you have read it. And I hope you have a fantastic, fantastic night. And hopefully I'll see you Sunday. But yeah, so like when their really awful teacher died and stuff, and the way people were talking about it just didn't feel like quite, you know, like it actually happened in the way that it was described, you know, with the walls, you know, changing, this monster roaming through the halls that's like very tall and big and grotesque. It just felt like that was maybe a little bit too insane, that for people to just act normally after it, almost. I'm like, did that actually happen then? Or was it a figment of like Andrew's imagination because of what Andrew has kind of suppressed as well? Like I think there's a good discussion to have between like, you know, what's real and what isn't, what's metaphorical, what's actually reality. So yeah. Oh yeah, it has ace rep. Absolutely. Please do read it. Yeah, I also no idea what was real, hence why I'm glad this was a discussion. Yeah, it will be nice to see if you guys think the same as well, because I would continue reading on and I'd be like, okay, this is grotesque and naughty and stuff, but like if this happened at my school, I could guarantee you it would be closed down. It would be closed down and nobody would be just going back the next day. So you know why every fantasy book has a redhead in it? Not saying I don't know a redhead, but it's every book. I would love to know the books that you read. To be honest, though, I haven't really read a whole lot of fantasy recently. But hey, yeah, I mean, love the redhead representation too. Absolutely love it. Yeah, the illustrations are great. CJ Drew's often posts fan art on her Instagram. That's great art. Ooh, I'll have to follow CJ Drew's. Don't share the genre synopsis because I have been spoiled too many times. Just read the book, depending on the Rex. Yeah, probably best to avoid. Or sometimes it can give you an unrealistic expectation of a book if you read the summary first. and then you'll go into it expecting something that's like totally different. It might not even just spoil it, but it might just be totally different to what you expected. So much myself and how Andrew was written. I love that. Yeah, I can't exactly speak for like how accurate representation is for other people, but I can just like say from my perspective, it made me understand a whole lot more. Not only just like ace people in general, but to see the struggle with that and that like identity of these very confusing feelings at a very confusing time and not knowing if you feel normal or not, coupling that with the idea that Andrew and everything going on felt very like monstrous and stuff. It's almost like this suppression has like really come out of Andrew. And whether or not you think that this is all real or imagined or anything, there's a whole lot of like metaphor there in terms of like Andrew perceiving himself as a monster and then that kind of being manifest. Not that Andrew is a monster, because I don't believe that, but like it's the feelings of it that's kind of made manifest. So I feel like it takes a very talented writer to be able to pull that off in a young adult novel as well. I felt like it was very beautifully written in that regard. And let me tell you, there were so many beautiful quotes from this as well. Whether that, I mean, even just like the dialogue, like so, like for instance, this exchange between Thomas and Andrew. Thomas says, "I think someday you'll hate me. You'll cut me open and find a garden of rot where my heart should be." And then Andrew let the silence sharpen between them, waiting until Thomas's breath caught in quiet anguish from being made to wait. "When I cut you open," Andrew finally said, "all I'll find is that we match." Like, how beautiful is that? Like, seriously, like it's dark, it's heavy, but it's beautiful. You know what I mean? Like I did underline quite a few things, especially dialogue. He drew like this because Andrew wrote like this. They fed off each other relentlessly, their fever dreams bleeding through their eyes long after they woke. That's beautiful. I'm sure there's like way more as well, but I feel like all I could do is just, I mean, if anyone else has a quote that they absolutely love, like please do share it. But I'm just seeing if there's like any. No, there's gonna be loads. Like, I could be here all day, but like, oh, also yeah, when you mentioned this in the sprints yesterday, I ended up putting that on my list, The Wicker King, because I do think I would end up enjoying it. This might have been higher. Oh, so there's like a lot of similarity there as well. Okay, so it'll be interesting me reading The Wicker King after reading this one. See if I have a different experience to you or a similar one. Also love the Ace Rep. 4.5, but feel if I hadn't read it during a heat wave, then yeah, it would have been a 5. That is honestly so fair. Reading a book during a specific time in your life, whether you're in a slump or whether you're dying from heat exhaustion, like it can really affect your rating. I totally get that. Oh, my theory. Also read it, I stole. Thomas killed everyone, but Andrew killed his twin, and then guilt made him say all that, and Thomas was going along with it. And they did do a murder-suicide at the end. Oh my god, that is very dark. But also, I can definitely see that being the case. I can definitely see that being the case. Because I did feel like a lot of it was guilt-ridden. I think a lot of it was guilt-ridden. And especially since there was a lot of deflection on Andrew's part, because he's the one who blames Thomas at the end for killing Dove. So it felt like there was a lot of deflection. And Thomas felt a lot of guilt for not being there to save her. Oh, honestly, like I need a more direct kind of telling of this story, because I do think you could absolutely interpret it that way, but I would need to see that actually happen, because with everything around that, like, well, we were told that Dove just fell, didn't she? She fell when she was climbing something, which is like a very odd thing. I thought that was a bit weird. I was like, okay, she's just had this kind of like falling out with Thomas, and she runs into the forest, and now she's climbing things. A forest that they're forbidden from entering. Or are they forbidden from entering it after Dove's death? I can't remember if it was before or after, but it just felt like a little bit out of character, a little bit weird. So it does seem like maybe that was just a cover to also kind of help with the guilt by making it feel like it wasn't exactly because Andrew could have killed her. And maybe it was his way of like a memory being so traumatic that he kind of blocked that out and replaced it with a different one. I was like, I need like a direct retelling of this story that just tells me everything from a different person's perspective who isn't being metaphorical. Author's on a bonus chapter. Wait, what? I don't think my copy has a bonus chapter. Oh, I need to find it. Love the book overall, but the ending was too poetic for me. Yeah, I feel like with the whole open-endedness of it and leaving a lot to interpret yourself, it does mean that it is harder for you to like fully feel satisfied from the story. Like there's not really full satisfaction from it if it is. However, on the other side of that, the open ending was the reason I gave it 5 stars. Kept me up at night for days thinking about it. I love the discussion that it can bring from it, because if it was so direct and so like obvious what it is, then there wouldn't really be a discussion on it. It would just be the ending. But the fact that we are kind of discussing it is a great thing, absolutely. I still prefer to have a little bit more answers, but I can totally see the merits of it. And I think it does take skill to pull it off. And I thought it was pulled off effectively. This is just a personal preference for me. I'm just like, I would just love a little bit more of a solid kind of outlook. But it was something that I'm still thinking about now. First ace book I saw myself in was Loveless by Alice Oseman, but I haven't read much afterwards. There doesn't really seem to be a whole lot of, at least that I'm aware of, like commercially successful stories that have ace representation. It obviously should be a lot more commercially successful, 100%, but I haven't really seen too many. And then with this being like fantasy as well, it's been very rare to find fantasy with more representation that isn't just like homosexual or lesbian, but to actually have like asexual, potentially pansexual as well for potentially another character. But yeah, totally think this is one of the best asexual books I've read. Gave it 4. Oh crap, what have I done? Okay, found it. I couldn't tell if the ending was open-ended or if I was just missing something. See, I read it twice and it's definitely open-ended. Oh, bonus stuff is in the B9 edition. Okay, I might have to get my hands on that then. Love the Ace rep a lot, and I love the lack of judgment from the 2 girls. Yeah, I agree with that too. And I also love that there was a point in this, because there was a little bit of bullying involved, but there was a point in this when they were talking about at this school about how welcoming everyone is, like, or at least like the club. There's like a club there, and they celebrate queer people, questioning people. I definitely saw. Oh, here we go, Lana. When they're talking about GSA, I think it's GSA Club. And Lana says, just so you know, everyone's welcome, queer, straight, questioning. So like it does feel like there is a big presence at this school that is very accepting. And then obviously you have like people like Bryce who are like assholes, but it felt like at least the main characters at least had some support there when it came to their sexuality. Oh, did like the folktales? They were one of my favorite elements. Yee. Oh, I love that. I love that. And honestly, I was so distraught when we saw Dove manifest to Andrew and was like, you made... am I remembering this right? Like, she was like, oh, you made Chloe up or something? And I was like, hang on. There's no way Chloe was made up. Did I remember that correctly? Because Dove was trying. This wasn't like the real Dove, but that was the moment when I was like really questioning everything, and I was like, shit, does Chloe exist? But it might not have been Chloe. I might have remembered that wrong. Now, a 3 is very good. It's a good rating. Loved atmosphere and mood, and appreciate the asexual rep, but felt the pacing left me detached from the overall character development. No, I totally get that. It's one where I feel like a lot of the slowness of it is kind of a chance for those characters to breathe, and then suddenly they're in the forest fighting a monster, you know, like, so the plot would flip and flop quite a lot. So I totally get that. Too many sexual books, so like characters are non-stop horny and then the book is marketed as slow burn, like how? Yeah, literally. And I don't want to read that in my young adult books either. Like, I don't want to say any of that. Author ended it that way so we would question what was real and what wasn't, just how Andrew was feeling. Yeah, I think you're right. I definitely think you're right. Maybe read essays on this book because it's crazy. A very good, unreliable narrator. Honestly, I could have. Well, I mean, to be fair, the first time I read this book, I felt like I wasn't really following along in the analytical sense, so I was really just reading for enjoyment only. But yesterday, when I reread it for the reading sprints, and I was trying to read it more analytically so that I could come to the live show prepared, I felt like I was thinking about it a little bit more and maybe a little bit too much. And that's when I definitely felt the more unreliable narrator aspect of it. Whereas the first time I was just there for vibes. And so a lot of it did go over my head anyway. But I didn't question it that much. Whereas this time I questioned it. Oh. Yeah, the forest going inside him, that part was nasty. Yeah, there was some gross visuals in this too. It reminded me a little bit, you know, blood on her tongue. There was some gross, but that's an adult book. It reminded me of some like the gross visuals in that one as well. I'm like, oh, I kind of love books where there's like a little bit of grossness to it. Not like outwardly gross. Well, blood on her tongue was, but like this one, it wasn't like it was a bit gross, but at the same time, it was done so tastefully. Oh, recommend The Boy Who Steals Houses. Oh, thank you so much for the recommendation. Gave it 3-star too. It was good, especially for YA, which hasn't been hitting for me lately. Sorry. Love the photos, but I saw the twist coming and I just didn't connect so much to it. See, I feel like with the twist, are you talking about Dove being dead? See, the first time I read that, I didn't exactly see the twist coming, but by that point, I was like, I feel like Dove has been quite underdeveloped. I was like, we've kind of let Dove down a bit, and I was like, okay, I don't know if I'm a fan of this because I don't really feel like I know Dove as a person all that much, and she just seems like she just kind of seemed there and like not really that important. And I was kind of disappointed by that. And then obviously the twist came and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense now. But yeah, for some of it, I wasn't connecting to it because I thought, oh, maybe there's like some underdevelopment there. And my brain actor was killing everyone. No, that's all right. But my horror brain was leading me in that direction. Honestly, that's the kind of book that I would love to read. Like Andrew killing everyone, like, yeah, I kind of love that idea. Yeah, that's essentially what it would imply, and what some people believe. Absolutely. Didn't see the twist coming at all, but everything clicked into place after. And definitely, because the first time I read it as well, I felt like the twist. I was like, oh, that I don't know if that makes a whole lot of sense. But after rereading as well and seeing a lot of the signs earlier, and like going into it knowing that, definitely made it make more sense. So I definitely think this is a book that you probably should try and read twice if you possibly can, and if you want to. Like, don't force yourself to read it twice if you don't want to. But it's definitely one of those 2-read experiences. Oh, Pan's Labyrinth movie. Have I seen Pan's Labyrinth? I think I did when I was a child, but I haven't seen it since. Because of the folk tales of darkness and a character with trauma that may or may not be supernatural. That honestly sounds like the kind of movie that I would love. People online believe the theory that Thomas killed everyone who had died and Andrew made up the monsters to cope with it. Don't even know what I believe. I kind of love that. I love that as well. I also love the moment in this when you know, like with Thomas's parents having been dead, and then Andrew comes to Thomas and says to him, I don't care, you know, if you did. And then Thomas's reaction to it was like very like extreme. You think the same as they do, you think I'm a murderer. And I feel like, oh, well, maybe if Andrew was the one killing and Thomas is the one protecting and stuff. But I kind of like your theory there, but like if Thomas had killed his parents and Andrew made up the monsters to cope with it, then that would make a whole lot of sense to me. Because then that would be Andrew still being able to love Thomas and not see him as a monster. Potentially. Narrate a synopsis, add books based on what YouTubers say, or read it once and then I don't read it again before I started. So most of the time I start off very confused. Honestly, starting books confused is probably the best way to go. 100%. And then the more you read, the more it'll make sense. And then if it doesn't start making sense, DNF. Being so smart because I worked out early on that the monsters were from Andrew's stories rather than Thomas's drawings, but I had no idea Dove was dead the whole time. I like that you were surprised by that. But did you think though that Dove was well developed? Like obviously it makes sense that she wasn't. Like in my opinion, I don't think she was all that well developed. But it makes sense now because she's dead. Like it makes sense. Like it's not a flaw of the writing, but it was something that I was kind of wary of. And I just don't know if you maybe felt like Dove was potentially underdeveloped beforehand, or if maybe you did think she was well developed. I don't know. And I'll have a novel coming out early next year. I got an ARC and I'm stoked. Oh wow. Do you know what it's called? Pre-ordering immediately. But the fact that you have an ARC already, it's not out until next year. Amazing. Wow, you're gonna read it like a year before everyone else. Would it be the guilt that made him not want to eat? You know what? I feel like that's very likely as well. Yeah. I feel like if you are feeling guilty for something, your appetite is not quite there. And when you have so much on your mind, or if you're like grieving or anything like that, yeah, like there's a lot of emotion there that could explain why he didn't want to eat. Mouth dropped when they said she was dead, but then it made so much sense. Mm-hmm. Love to read that. Me too. Genuinely, me too. Oh, is this what it's called? You Did Nothing Wrong? Oh, stunning cover too. I'll have to look it up. It wasn't obvious to me. I was like, what? Scary for a YA book? Yeah, like I do think it's YA, but my goodness. Yeah, I would agree with that too. Like I do have a strong stomach and I don't think a lot scares me all that much. But if you are maybe someone who doesn't love horror all that much, or if you're easily squirmish, then yeah, I think this is actually one that would probably upset you, you know? Don't care how dark the world is for you. I'll hold out my hand until you find it and I won't let go. Oh, that is a kind of quote that I would have tattooed on my body. That is so romantic. Yay! Cooking and eating now. And I'm glad you're doing well. Missing you and everyone from my Egypt trip. I miss you too. Honestly, we will always have Egypt. We'll always have that. And all of those experiences that we had. Was it it wasn't the Valley of the Kings we went to together. You know the one where we got up at it wasn't when we got the hot air balloons, it was before that. It was when we did have to get up really early and get a bus there for so long. And then Becca got on the bus, but then she had to get off it because she started feeling sick. What was that place called again? It was like with the big things, you know, like it was like four there. We went inside. It wasn't the Valley of the Kings. I keep mixing it up with that, but it was, you know, I loved when we had our little time there as well. And we got to just speak a little bit more there as well. That was awesome. I read The Wicker King. Please get a physical copy. The way it is done affects the story, like the way the pages look, a reflection of the character's mental health. I love it when the format of a book matches the subject matter of the book. I love that. I love that so much. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely get a physical copy. Did Steph read that as well and enjoy it? I feel like maybe she did. Everything inside me is ruins. For you. Oh, I love that too. Both of them were so guilty. I keep wondering how he acted in the summer holiday when he still believed his sister was alive. Why didn't his dad get him help? Honestly, sometimes it's something that I feel like it was touched upon, like the neglect as well. It felt like the dad wanted the easiest way to deal with his son as possible. And it felt like quite a few of the parents were a little bit neglectful. And maybe when, you know, like Thomas's parents were killed, maybe that was also kind of like a reflection of the idea that parents or adults in this story aren't someone that you can turn to when you need help, potentially. Because even with the teachers and stuff too, it felt like they couldn't turn to the teachers. And yeah, I feel like it was probably a commentary on how parents do turn a blind eye to things sometimes if they don't want to have to deal with it. I believe the monsters were made up, but then I can't explain instances where other people saw things. Like when Bryce saw the moss in Andrew's pocket. That's true. That's true. Maybe we need a movie adaptation to help it. Gonna be a 4-star, as I loved the writing and the imagery, but it had my least favorite trope of they were dead from the beginning and that knocked a star off, so 3 stars. Yeah, sometimes that can really piss me off too. It really can. I don't want to mention anything else that it's in because I really don't want to spoil it for anyone. But this is a trope that has happened before, and something that I sometimes it can really ruin a story. So yeah, it depends on if you like that trope or not. Sometimes I don't mind it if it's done very well. But yeah, I totally get that. And oh my god, my ankle is so itchy right now, and I have no idea why. Like, please don't get itchy before I have to leave. They self-inflicted because of the fight and feeling like the group was going to split potentially, especially if you remember exactly how she died. Apparently, that's could potentially be that. Yeah, love it from Lana's perspective. That would actually be amazing. Yes, I would love it from Lana's perspective. Though a lot of things that happened were the most obvious one way or the other. Like, they didn't feel that big to me. However, a few things like Thomas's parents missing were really, really mysterious. Yeah, and I did love the initial mysteriousness of that as well. Like, it was so interesting to follow like the parents thing, because I'm like, damn. I need to be guided. Don't be vague. My brain is only little. Or at least, like, fair enough, be vague in the actual text. But I would love like an author's note at the end just to explain the author's kind of take on it, which I know that as soon as an author puts their book out, it is then up to the reader to interpret it however they want, 100%. So like, even if the author did an author's note at the end and is like, oh, this is kind of what I meant by this, or this is kind of the feelings I had, I don't think that would take away from people's like interpretation of something, because what I love about literature is that two people can interpret some like the same thing totally differently, you know. So I would just love to know like what the author wanted to say and just have that little bit of analysis in there. Chills both when Dove told Andrew that Thomas wasn't there and when Thomas told Andrew about Dove, like twist on twist. Yeah, and again, just didn't know who to believe. Didn't bother me. Wasn't so much the openness as that it seems to get so magically resolved into a happily ever after. I wanted a happy ending, but it felt so sudden and rushed. I mean, the ending as well, is it really happily ever after? Or is it kind of like just an acceptance of the trauma and the feelings behind that leads to a potential murder-suicide kind of thing? Like, I'm like, is that really the best kind of happy ever after? Put into question everything that happened, it means the conversations with Lana now happening, those were some of my favorite moments. Yeah, like what exactly was real with those conversations as well, which is why I do think the Lana perspective would definitely help with this so much. Yeah, Dove said he made Chloe up. And I was like, no. Yeah, I'm kind of glad that was not real. And then when he was like, take Dove's face off, take her off her face and stuff like that, that was really good, because I was genuinely concerned that, you know what I mean? Please, that wasn't a happy ending though, because I don't think after everything that happened that there was a way to have one. If Andrew was alive, he has so much healing to do. It would be a huge journey, which honestly would be incredible for Andrew to try and overcome that. But yeah, work on him. Yay! Okay, I just got a notification to say driver assigned for your ride. Your driver will arrive by 4:15 a.m. Oh my god. But I'm glad it's definitely sold out. Definitely have a ride. Oh, let's see this poll as well. So we have 56% said 4 to 5 stars, 2.5 to 3.5 stars had a 30%. Nobody said 1 or 2 stars, and 13% said DNF or didn't read. Thomas was telling the truth. The monsters were real, and Dove was dead because she never really behaved like her true self. But then who was she? Yeah, we never really got to know the real Dove. Yeah, me too. Dove was just in Andrew's head because he couldn't cope with the death of his twin. That's why she wasn't interacting with. Yeah, honestly, that makes so much sense on his second reading. But then I was like, what? But this feels like so underdeveloped. But like, it makes sense upon reread. Oh, there is a TV show I watched where it turned out a character was dead. And it made so much sense because of their interactions. I'll not say what TV show, I'll not say what episode, but they were a main character. And yeah, it turns out they were dead. And then it made so much sense considering you would realize that they only ever interacted with the main character. And I was like, oh my God, like that blew my mind. That blew my mind. But now, like rereading it, I was like, oh my God, like it makes so much sense why she was underdeveloped. After reading it for the vibes. Love that. The way Andrew is seeing Dove and the way she's acting is so on point for someone experiencing so much grief. Looking back, their interactions make so much more sense. So would you say this is like one of the best books you've read on grief? But like not exactly in the terms of like a realistic contemporary or anything, but like in terms of like a fantasy novel of a teenager having to deal with that kind of grief. Like would you say like this was a good represented, because I would say this is probably like one of the best ones I've seen of like how that grief overtakes you and how it bleeds into, you know, reality, imagination, all to protect you from that. Like what your mind does in order to prevent you from feeling intense trauma. Like it's incredible like how that can happen. And I feel like fantasy is such a great genre for like a kind of representation like that to kind of thrive. Ooh, Annihilation, Southern Reach series, which I love. I'll have to read that. Yeah, I was mad at her. Never big enough to come up with my own different conclusions. Everything the author says is what I believe 100%. I mean, sometimes same. Andrew believed in Thomas initially, then when Dove was after he had wiped it from his memory, I was like, she's his subconscious. And as a twin as well, like, can you imagine, again, grief for losing a sister would be immense, but to lose a twin would be, like, that's just a whole other level. Let down by just character development, I feel like it was a missed opportunity for me to feel emotionally attached. Yeah, like this could have still done, like, a little bit more. What if Dove and Thomas went there? Thomas did kill his parents and go to jail and Dove was killed. Andrew unable to co-create a whole new world in his head where they both existed. See, anything like that is possible though. Because it does feel like Andrew would have done anything to protect himself, like his heart, his mind. And so like literally all of that is possible. Like that could have happened. Never see Thomas killing people for Andrew. Intricate character-driven horror that with that open ending. Okay, I feel like I would enjoy that in a more open-ended format if it's in movie form. Gosh, I'm like 12 minutes behind. I do apologize. I'll just skim some things. Strange the right, I gave Thomas and Andrew so much character, but Dove was just a background character, so I knew something was not okay with her. See, you're smart, that's why. It definitely felt purposeful, but like you're smart, because at first I just thought it was maybe bad writing on Dove's part, but no, it turned out to be very good writing. Suspicious of the sister not being in the book, so her being dead didn't surprise me, and thought she could have been included more. So yeah, you kind of read between the lines there as well. You kind of took more of her absence as suspicious. Part confused me, but was that kid just trying to get Andrew in trouble to get back at Thomas? Potentially, yeah. Frustrated with Duff's character because I was like, why is she only popping up to be super vague and hate Thomas? Like, why wouldn't you just tell Andrew what happened? Like, supposed to be twins. Are they close or just being weird? But now I know she was dead. I understand why she felt underdeveloped. She wasn't really a character. She's part of Andrew rather than her own individual. We never actually meet her. She's dead before the book even starts. See, that is why I do really enjoy, at the end of the day, what happened with Dove and stuff. I hope you enjoyed the festival, although you're probably already gone. When I cut you open, all I'll find is that we match. Another quote I love. Yeah, I do love that quote so much. Did you think halfway through the book that Dove was in Andrew's head and died in the forest the previous year? So yeah, and you know what? It went over my head like the first time I read it as well. There were so many allusions to something happening in the forest to stop people from going in it. And so I was questioning more like, oh, what actually happened in the past? Like, what is it that Andrew and Thomas won't talk about? out loud, you know, like there were things that really did help with like the red herrings and the foreshadowing, and honestly now it makes so much sense. Didn't see much off with Dove because she was introduced blanking her dad too. Yeah, so she just seemed like maybe she was just like aloof, a rather aloof character. And Abu Simbel, yes, thank you, Jess. I knew it. I knew it. Deep down, I knew it. But yeah, that was a great day. That was such a great day. And I just remember hanging out with you outside of it. I realized Dove was dead or a malevolent force, like a vengeful ghost, when she marked up Andrew's story. Oh, yeah. And he was like, you don't usually make this much criticism or something like that. She did come across as very different then. When he called him as well and he was scheduling a call instead of listening to him, that made me very sad. Same. When I realized Dove was dead, I thought it was crazy how nonchalant and uncaring his dad was, especially when Andrew spoke about how close they all were as children. Oh, Mike Flanagan could make a good series out of this book. Oh, I agree with that. I do agree. Particular author who had that death trope extremely well. I don't want to spoil that book was 10 out of 10. See, this is the thing, like I want to know what it is, but at the same time, I don't want to be spoiled for what it is. You know what I mean? Like I want the recommendation, but I don't want to know that at the same time. So don't tell me. But at the same time, I want to read what you read. It took so long for the teachers to pull Andrew in because they were concerned about him. Other students noticed how thin he was getting, but not the adults. This is why I think a lot of the commentary in this book is like how neglectful a lot of the adults can be. Yeah, like he was belly eating. Yeah, it was very concerning. Lana told staff about the bullying as well. Yeah, I do agree with this. Yeah, it's what fits. Yeah, that definitely fits the story. I agree with that. Oh, demand they explain themselves. See, we would need to do a follow-up. Absolutely. In Jordaline, I need to ask Jordaline how she does this, but Jordaline is able to get, because she does like a Patreon book club, she's able to get authors on sometimes, and I'm like, whoa, like, tell me your secrets. But it would be amazing to do that with CJ Drews, 100%. Maybe CJ Drews has already done an interview, potentially. And you know what? This is very fair as well. Like, Andrew's father is absolutely allowed to have his own grief. Absolutely true. Especially with them being twins as well. Like, that must be so hard to have to cope with. Get them in stat. Yes, I'm so glad the ride is confirmed as well. I wonder if the taxi driver will ring me first. That would be so helpful. Raise my rating now. The end made so much more sense. I'm glad we had this discussion. Honestly, I'm always glad that we have a discussion on a book because sometimes my ratings can get bumped up as well. And I will say, yeah, the first time I read Don't Let the Forest In, I gave a 4, and then on a reread, it's a 4.5. Oh, my. You know when you get that feeling in one of your teeth where you kind of just want to bite? That's what I'm getting right now. Good representation of grief. I actually like that they included that he kind of wiped his memory of Dove's death because it's a totally normal PTSD response, which I've experienced with, and I've not seen anyone do it often or do it particularly well. And especially in a fantasy, like in a fantasy book as well, to do it tastefully as well, that doesn't like negate the feelings of grief, but I think just only enhances them too. Like the way Andrew wasn't scared of the monsters because he's so used to feeling scared all the time due to his anxiety, and I was like, yes, that's me. Yeah. And even then, sometimes to think of yourself as a monster too. You know, like there's so much like self-doubt and self-criticism when it comes to that too. But there's a lot of strength in Andrew, especially by the end of the book too. And it's just, it's kind of a, I can't exactly say it's a wonderful thing to follow because it's like hard to read with the trauma that went on. But it's like, what I mean is like the way that it's written is kind of wonderful to follow. They did need two hearts. They could share Andrews. He began to cut like, yikes! But also at the same time, like it's a beautifully disgusting metaphor as well. You know what I mean? Like the idea of it with like the two hearts, like when two people come together, like in love, for instance, they can become one beating heart. It could represent that love. It could represent like dying. You know, there's just like so much level to it. It's hard to like pinpoint exactly what it means, but like it's a beautiful but disgusting kind of way of looking at it, you know? Oh yeah, always afraid. Oh. A great fantasy magical realism does grief so well when it comes to tackling that particular theme. Monster Calls When the Wolf Comes Home are good examples. That's a really good one to mention, actually, When the Wolf Comes Home, because I did read that. I read that one not too long ago, and that absolutely makes sense to me. Though that sounds kind of because Katie did too in her vlog, and I would just want to know why you call your daughter Dove and your twin brother Andrew. You know what? That is so true. Like, Dove is such a beautiful, like, kind of a rare name to call someone. Unless you're like Dove Cameron. It's like probably the only Dove I can think of right now. But yeah, Andrew. Like, of all the names you could have called him, that could have matched Dove. And you call him Andrew. Oh, I've read it. I gave it 4.5. Well, that means that I thought that the trope was done well as well, then. That means I thought the trope was done well. I want to go through every single book that I've ever given 4.5. Oh, well, at least, like, now I was like, can you just, like, message me which book it is now? Since I've read it, I won't be spoiling it. Oh, what would make more sense? Dove and Sparrow. Yeah, like, why wasn't he called Sparrow or something? Yeah, like, Dove is such a pretty name. Oh, I may have given it 5 stars. Oh my god, what is it? Oh my god, now I'm like, oh god, what is it? I can't think of it. Also, my hair, I just went in the shower like an hour ago, so my hair is still drying, and it's drying in a really awful way. I'm not liking this. Yeah, the names just did not match, which could also highlight the duality of them as well. Like, they may be twins, but they are their own people, and they can be very, very different. So maybe it was purposeful that one was called Dove and one was called Andrew. Dove symbolizes something that flew away, and Andrew is grounded. That's the message. That is the message. Or is there a bird called Rue? I'm pretty sure. Wait, hang on. Is there a bird, like a Rue bird? I'm pretty sure. I mean, there's Rue from the Hunger Games, absolutely. But like, what? Okay, let's have a look. Rue meaning, because I just thought of something. Oh, well, rue means to like bitterly regret, like rue the day. So regret. So maybe, you know how you have Dove and Rue, but what if it's Dove and Rue? As in, like, I'm gonna type it out now. Like, this is a stretch. This is such a stretch. I'm just gonna, but like this, Dove Andrew, Dove and Rue. So Dove flew away, and we are left with regret. I'm just saying, I think I cracked the case. I think I cracked the case. Oh, I've got a message to put the bin out because my bin is coming. Oh, of course. Oh, yeah. Yep. I gave it 5 stars, yeah. Oh, I did. I loved that book. Yeah, that's one where it was done well. Thanks for the reminder, Kat. Thank you for the reminder. Halfway through when I was like, how come Dove has such a pretty name? Yeah, no offense to Andrew, but come on. See, that's why I think the whole Dove and Rue comes into it. Jolene does some sacrifices for them, and they like that, I guess. See, another reason why I wouldn't have an author on a book club is I would want to be honest about their book. So if I didn't like it, I would want to be honest about it. And also for you guys as well to be honest about it too. Oh, heck, and they didn't know they were having twins and panicked. So, like, Andrew came out and they were like, oh, fuck, what do we call the boy? Anxiety felt very real and known to me. If I say Andrew is just like me, that doesn't sound good, but I saw so much of myself and my struggles in him. No, honestly, that makes so much sense. Like, I feel like it's very hard to say a character is entirely like someone. Like, even when I read a book and there's a character who I identify with and relate to, I wouldn't say I was ever exactly like them. So it makes sense to me that you could say so much of yourself in him while not saying that Andrew is just like you, you know? Oh my God, my ankle is so itchy. Oh my God, what happened? I wonder if that's that. Maybe it was a flea yesterday. Maybe it bit me. Oh, yay. Thank you for the DM. Like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, I remember now. I remember now. I suddenly dropped the rec so I can read it without being spoiled. Oh yeah, I think I was probably thinking of Ren. But look, Rue means regret. In Andrew, look, I think I'm onto something. What do you think of the way this book dealt with homophobia? I feel like they talked a bit about it, but with the flags being torn up and Bryce's comments, but never really delved into it. Yeah, I feel like Bryce was mainly the embodiment of that, more so than anything. And also just like how easy it is for homophobes at school to get away with it, because they will seem so innocent when, like, say if they're pulled into the office, they will seem so innocent about it. But usually a parent can pull the strings, or like the principal might not want to like have to deal with it or anything. So they're like, oh, just make up and shake hands kind of thing. So it might seem extreme, but I was kind of glad Bryce died. And that felt like maybe it was like saying homophobia is wrong. I'm not saying that all homophobes need to die or anything like that, but I'm just saying like the way it was portrayed with like through Bryce, for instance. I was like, he didn't get away with it exactly. He might have gotten away with it with the adults, but like he didn't get away with it in general. You know what I mean? Like he didn't get his happy ending. Each parent got to pick a name, and one wasn't creative. Yeah, you know what? I think it was the dad. The dad couldn't think of a creative boy name, so just went with Andrew. Oh, you were getting confused who was Thomas and who was Andrew. The names were so boring and generic. I mean, which is so true, though. Like, even Thomas isn't really the most creative name either. So I can totally see why you would kind of get mixed up with them, too. And personality-wise as well, because they were so intricately linked to begin with, too. Yeah, I can totally see why you would get mixed up. Oh my gosh, I'm so itchy. Oh gosh, I hope. You know what? I don't think I'm going to get much sleep tonight, which is going to be awful. I'm too hot. I'm going to be too hot. Like, I'm itchy now. I'm fucked tonight. Oh, where's the sad outfit? You've won another one. I just have, haven't I? I cracked the case. Absolutely no one has come up with the idea that Dove and Rue. You know what I mean? Read small things and made me change my rating to 0.5 higher. I will probably say that this is going to be in my best books of the year. I definitely think so. I don't think I've had like the best reading yet in terms of quality reads, but I do think this is going to be up there. I do think this is one of my favorites now. Andrew, the name symbolizes bravery and resilience, so maybe that's it too. Yeah, that could absolutely mean it too. Like, even though Andrew sounds like a very normal name, the meaning behind it. Brother guys, 5 stars, got a good rec. When did you read the book? I'll not say specifically, but I will say I read it for a Vlogs of Halloween. Just saying. In other book clubs I've been in, they had the discussion separate to the author Q&A. Say that would actually be a fantastic idea. I think it's just Jordaline. I think Jordaline gets the author onto the book clubs. I have done. Gosh, does anyone remember this? This was like 5 years ago when I did Middle Grade Monthly. And me and Jade got Michelle Harrison on to talk about A Pinch of Magic and A Sprinkle of Sorcery. And I think that was like the first and last time I ever had an author on. Like, Michelle Harrison was great, but there were a couple of people in the live chat who were maybe a bit more critical than I wanted the author to see. And I don't want like people that come into the book club feel like they had to censor themselves. Absolutely not. But I was like, oh yeah, this is probably not going to work. Because I want people to be honest, but I don't want the author to say that, you know? Hang on, it jumped. Didn't mind the Bryce and the teacher died, not gonna lie, same. That teacher was an asshole. It was genuinely like, for some reason, just fixated on being a prick. I really didn't like him. It was really bad egg, and then the way his friends treated Andrew, looking for him, they are horrible people. Bryce Simon was definitely a statement in bold and capital letters that he was awful. I agree. And the way that he was found as well, it was so gnarly. It'll be my best books too. I mean, it's only one of only 2, maybe 3 5-stars I had, so it'll be my favorite for sure. Oh, I'm so glad about that, cat. I'll be watching all of them. Well, you know what? As you should, because, you know, spooky season is coming up. And yeah. Oh, this is true. I did, but at least I didn't have to discuss their books. You know what I mean? I was very tempted to get Jamie. Did I ever get Jamie Littler on for a book club discussion? I don't think I did. I did interviews, but at least that was like an interview, like not a book club discussion. But yeah, I love getting the authors to do clips for Believeathon. What a time! What a time! It's already been 4 years since the last Believeathon. 4 years. Really like some of the chapter endings where there were big spaces between words or words out of order that gave us glimpses into Andrew's inner turmoil. Yes, yes, I love it when it can really delve into, like, again, like with this as well, like seeing the ink blotches or is it blood. You know, I love the way that the format can really, you know, bleed into what is going on. I showed one of the trainers today my F1 outfit, but it was a really bad angle, so I looked terrible in it. And then I have a new one, like a new picture of it on my Instagram story right now, and they've just replied saying, yeah, much better angle. I was like, yeah, I actually look good in it now. Let's ask the author and start new Gavin author's drama. Yeah, let's do it. I'm ready for another drama. I'm ready for another controversy. Words replaced on the pages for some sentences. Yeah, I agree. Right, I may have to wrap it up there so I can try and maybe go to bed. But unless if there's anything else anyone wants to discuss before we leave. But we've been chatting for an hour, which is pretty good. Pretty good for a book club. Pretty fly for a white guy. I'm just going to sit here and scratch my foot. But if anyone thinks of something they would want to talk about, please do. If not, I'll probably try and wind down for bed and go to sleep. I'm never going to get to sleep in this heat. And not with such an itchy foot. What is that sound? It sounds like heavy rain, but it's not. Maybe it's someone on a skateboard. Okay, so next book club as well is Begone the Raggedy Witches, which is a perfect time to read it. We will have our live show discussion for this, most likely the first Saturday of September, which will be the 6th of September, I believe. What is that sound? Oh, it kind of sounds like a low-flying helicopter, actually. I can't see it, but it sounds like a low-flying helicopter. Okay, anyway, sorry, it's just weird. But yeah, I'm thinking September 6th for discussing Begone the Raggedy Witches. And again, I feel like that's going to be perfect because it's like introducing... Oh, hang on. September 6th is when my Haunted School video premieres. So maybe it might be the Friday. Because I'm debating, I'm like, should I premiere my videos this year or should I just post them when they're ready? I might just post them. Okay, so it's either going to be the 5th or the 6th of September. The 6th of September is when vlogs of Halloween begin. Getting really sleepy as well, so I'll be okay for ending it today. If anyone ever thinks of something they want to discuss, then please feel free. I'm going to do... Again, I've been so terrible these past couple of months because it has been the busiest time of my life with everything going on. But in September, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not traveling anywhere, and I cannot fucking wait. Oh my God. So, I'm going to do... Yeah, see, I'm an absolute twat. I didn't do a channel for Don't Let the Forest In. I'm going to quickly do a channel for Begone the Raggedy Witches now on Discord. Honestly, I do apologize. I have had the busiest freaking few months of just traveling non-stop pretty much. I'm going to do a channel for Don't Let the Forest In now. If anyone thinks of anything they want to discuss, feel free to add it in the channel. It's under the Young Adult and Adult Book Club section. And I definitely will be better coming up. And also, where is the Chrissy Saul belong? I might as well add A Murder Is Announced now. And then that one is up there now too. I'll put that at the top. But honestly, with everything going on, like the main events happening, Norway was one of them. This Wedding in Mallorca is another one, in Jade's wedding. So when this Wedding in Mallorca is done, I've got 2 weeks off. And then Jade's wedding. As soon as Jade's wedding is over, I essentially that's pretty much like the main stuff done with this year. Apart from New York in October, but I'm not going to be stressed then. But honestly, this summer, I can't tell you why, but it's been absolutely mental. It's been chaos. Because does anyone know what I can do with my foot to stop the itch? I don't know why it's so scratchy. Soak your foot in cold water or ice it. I'm going to do the cold water thing because I feel like that might also help cool me down. Oh, was I getting all up in your business? Well, when I was looking outside, I was all like, doing a little bit of this. Oh, yeah, you should. So yeah, Begone the Raggedy Witches and potentially September 6th for that live show. And then, oh yeah, Murder Is Announced is over here. Murder Is Announced. And then I haven't decided what the next ones will be after this, but we could always discuss any suggestions and stuff for the next ones. Oh yeah, I mean, I feel like I think Begone the Raggedy Witches is August, right? I think Don't Let the Forest In was supposed to be July, but I couldn't do the live show until August. And then that means this is August, and then this is September, I believe. But I could be wrong on that. A lot of flying helicopters, but it's hard. They are looking for forest fires. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's definitely much better now, thank God. Much better. Some rest in the sun. Honestly, I feel like I'll be avoiding it like the plague. I'll be probably sitting in my hotel room with the AC on. Oh, I wish I could, but I'm not going to get them back until next Tuesday. Actually, I haven't had Ash and Toby for over a week. Nearly 2 weeks now, actually. My sister picked them up on the 2nd of August, I think it was. Or the 3rd of August. And I'll not get them back until Tuesday when I come back from Mallorca, so I can't even cuddle my babies. I miss them so much. Still need to read 2 more Miss Marple books before Murder Is Announced because I want to read them in order, so I should get going. Oh, yeah, so... which 2 would they be? I don't even know which order it is. It just seems to be, like, so random in here. Oh, The Body in the Library and The Moving Finger. Are those the 2 that you need to read? Oh, thank you so much. I'll let you know how it goes. I honestly wish I wasn't going anywhere. Honestly, I just want to rest. I just want to rest for like a week, just a week. Oh my God. I mean, I would reread it. If you've seen, actually, I give my rating in the 2nd episode of The Haunted Castle, which I haven't edited yet. But I would reread it, just saying. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, okay, I want the next book club book to be a book that I don't need to reread. Since this was a reread. I want to read something for the first time. We can always say like what I'm kind of reading. Yeah, it is. Which I have already read. I might try and do a book that I haven't read yet. Well, we could say like if there's anything I'm reading around that time, that could be good. Honestly, same. I've lost all sense of time too. Oh, bless you. I really do hope that you get so much better so soon and that you can leave and be free. Hey. Yeah, this is true. It's only for a couple of days. I want to try and hide from everyone as much as possible so I don't have to socialize as much. Would reread it as well, even though I prefer My Darling Dreadful Thing. I see, considering I enjoy Blood on Her Tongue so much, I would love to pick up Darling Dreadful Thing. Even though you prefer the other one, I still want to read more. Anyway, I am going to let you all go. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for reading this book with me too. I also appreciate it. This was definitely a long time coming, let me tell you. But I will be away for the next few days, but I already have the post for the Once Upon a Time Along scheduled. So the post for that should be going up on Friday. And yeah, that'll be Sunday's live show. I land at 3 p.m. I should hopefully make it to the live show on time. And that should all be fine. That should all be fine. But thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your week. And I will hopefully see you very, very soon. Bye.